guys, like I say, 9-speed transmission, the ZF transmission. Pretty much we only allowed to do certain repairs on them. This transmission already had the valve body. Okay, so there's a new valve body on there. All we can do is what Chrysler tell us to do. And if you get a new transmission, it's going to come with a new TCM, so no need to take that off and put on a new car, which also means you will need a good scan tool to transfer data and information into the PCM to program it. Okay, a lot of shops are doing these now, but they don't have the capability to program the controllers. Okay, there's nothing worse than putting a brand new, this is the new unit right here, nothing worse than putting a new unit in a car, get it installed, fire it up. In some cases it won't even fire up, and it won't move. Okay, you know how embarrassing that is to tell the customer you have to sublet that car, in some cases get it towed to the dealership. In that customer eyes, they start thinking, why didn't I just take it to the dealership? Okay, so you got to know if you're able to do this stuff before you start doing it. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is just taking the bag off. They have it wrapped pretty securely. They don't really want no leaks, and this thing come pre-filled. All right, I mean, you still should check it. All right, I've been getting away with putting it in, checking it after I started up and driving, and then I go drive and I come back and recheck it, and it'd be right at the perfect level. I don't know how they're able to pull that off, but I still suggest you check it after you install it. See, here's the new TCM it's gonna come with. So like I say, guys, if you're doing one of these, make sure your scan tool will allow you to do the programming. If not, now there's another option. Simply take the known good working TCM and put on there, but no one knows if it's known good working. Nobody knows if it's working. You know, depending on the fault code that you get, but TCM plays a major role in you know, the way the transmission shifts, and it could be contributing factor as to why the transmission getting replaced in the first place. So just something you need to be mindful of, guys. So all I'm gonna do now is chain this up. I'm gonna jack this out. I'm gonna use the lift. This is what we do. We use the lift to I'm gonna chain it up and use the lift to lift it up to put it on the jack. Okay. The Jeep Cherokee Latitude that I'm working on. Like I said, we're putting a transmission in it simply because basically that's the only repair we can do, you know. So I got it out. What's different about this one versus the other ones I've taken out is this one is a V6, so it's a bigger engine. It's a 3.6 or 3.2. They both the same basically, but this one was a little more pain in the butt, because see, from a different standpoint though. Now this starter is in the front, okay? I don't know if any of you guys did one, the 4-cylinder engine, the multi-air engine. The starter is back here, and it is a real pain to get to, okay? I can't imagine having to just replace a starter on one of those. It is a pain. But yeah, so I got everything off of here. Just like any other transmission, I would check, make sure there's no oil coming down here, which would insinuate rear main seal leaking. I have none of that. And because this is a 3.6 or 3.2, you should get us a good view up here in this area. Make sure that oil filter adapter housing is not leaking. That's where most of the oil drain down on top of the trans. A lot of the guys misdiagnosed that. It'll drain from out of this area, end up on top of the trans, and work its way down to the bottom of the trans area. And when people see that oil down the bottom, they automatically assume the rear main seal is leaking. Now, there's nothing like removing this hard transmission to replace a rear main seal just to find out that it's not your leak, okay? So anytime you got a transmission out on any car, do a good visual inspection. I mean, this is a good time to look for any coolant leaks. Here's the heater hoses right here. The radiators in plain view. Everything is in plain view. So do a good visual inspection while you have the training out. I'm getting ready to install the trans. Now I can't film remove oil installation. I'm actually at a different spot right now to where I can't film stuff. So but I can talk, okay, and I do not mind talking to you guys. Of course, the crank sensor. So if you're ever looking for where the crank sensor live on a Jeep Cherokee with a basically all the 3.6 engine crank sensor are in the rear, because what you're trying to do is read the tone wheel. Okay, so any crank sensor basically. Now they hide them in different places, but the main goal of a crank sensor is to tell you what the crankshaft, what position the crankshaft at. Now they have different slots in the tone wheels that would tell the computer where cylinder 1 is versus any other particular cylinder. And this is also really important use for detecting misfire. Okay, this is how misfire detect. It sends that information back to the computer. So, but I don't want to get off subject. So yes, the fuse box is all the way out. Had to remove a lot more other stuff on this one. It pays a little bit more, but it's a little bit more harder. So guys, I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let me get this thing back together. What a pain. Okay, removing the axles, all that was fairly easy. So I actually had to remove the exhaust so I can get to these bolts. And it's the same little shield on here, just like any other the 62 TE. I'm not sure what it's doing. It's fairly thin, so I don't know if it's acting as a shim or just something in between the block and the transmission. I always take a look at your dial pins, make sure your dial pins are in place before reinstallation. Sometimes they'll come out and stay inside the transmission, the old transmission in this case, and when you get ready to install it, you'll have a hard time lining it up. So always verify, make sure your dial pins are still in place. All right, so what else? That's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, the days of overhauling trans, I don't know. Well, as soon as I say that, a kit would be available. Last time I was in the training center, they was talking about a kit, putting together a overhaul kit package for this transmission. So in the future, we will be able to go inside of them. Okay. Up to this point, the only thing I've done is a recall. We go back to the real dog clutch and put in snap rings or something. So I've had one apart, just I haven't done any repairs to it except replace the snap ring that they suspect break. Okay, but I've heard at the training center that a overhaul kit is on the way. And I think with the mechanics are too far spoiled at this point. It's gonna be hard pressed trying to convince a mechanic to recondition one of these now at this point, because we are so accustomed and used to just simply replacing it. It would have to be that mechanic's own personal car for him to break down that trans and actually go through a recondition process. Okay, so I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. All right, well, that's all I have, guys. Let me wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Comment and subscribe. And I will see y'all on the next video.